Uh, okay. Let's see.
Are we live? I forgot to pray.
We are live.
Right now. Pray.
What's up?
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Surprise.
Surprise.
We don't even tell y'all we going live no more. We just go live. We just
pop up.
We just pop up when we feel like it. When we feel like talking, when we feel like giving y'all some real Christian talk, we just pop the heck up.
Let's pull up.
Aleia up here got a new hairdo, looking like she coming to America.
Hey.
Alright, y'all ready? Monday Night Raw.
It is Monday. Monday Night Raw. That's what we're calling it. Monday Night Raw.
Somebody already put it in.
Let's do it. We whatever.
Does that say God is dope or God is woke?
God is dope.
Okay, God is dope. Okay. I have a God is woke T-shirt.
Oh, he is. I like that too.
Yeah. I have a God is woke T-shirt. I like that shirt. God is dope, but he's also woke.
Yes, he is.
Amen. He's woke.
All right.
All right,
we
guys.
got a special guest tonight.
Yeah, we got some guests tonight. And I'm really excited about them. Pam can tell you a lot more about them than Aleia can.
Yes, we got one of our top fans, Nikki Farley and Melinda Coley, and we're about to bring them on, and we are just going to be real talk, like straight up real talk. So we're going to bring them on.
All right, ready to bring them on?
Let's do it.
All right, let's bring on Melinda first.
Unmute your phone, girl.
Hello.
Hey, girl.
All right, and let's bring on probably our biggest fan, our day one. Let's
both of them.
Farley.
Nikki,
what's up, girl? The girl's taking over tonight. Yeah.
Okay. Unmute your phone, Nikki.
Oh yeah, Nikki.
Nikki, you gotta unmute your phone.
I am muted. Listen, I have learned the hard way. I was working Roadie Rich the other night, and Nick went on live, and I was like, Lord, thank you, God. Nobody else seen it.
Oh Lord. Well, that's what's up. So, y'all, tonight we're gonna talk about just maintaining in the pandemic. So I think all y'all are actually going to work. Like I'm working from home in the closet tonight. Got new scenery. Y'all see that?
In the closet.
Yes. But yeah, so I think all y'all still we all still working, but we just at different levels. So how y'all feeling about it?
I'm thankful that I got a job. I won't lie to nobody.
Amen. Yeah.
Amen. Just because I have insurance.
And you need that during the pandemic, especially.
Right. It's cheaper with that third party, right?
And I'm working from home right now. I go back next week. We're on a 2-week vacation. I work in the school system, so it's a little harder for us. So yeah.
So I can imagine, like, you work in the school system, everything's been like up and down. Like y'all may go in, y'all may not have to go in.
Yes, it's so crazy when I tell you, because we're thinking about how to get the kids in safely. Mm-hmm. How to make sure that we're protecting the children, protecting ourselves, practicing social distancing, making sure hand sanitizing stations and this, that, and the other. I'm a part of the pandemic committee at the school. So I've been going in and out. And when I tell you, it's it's real out here. Like people don't understand. They thinking that we're just saying, "Oh, the kid's gonna do this, the kid's gonna do that." We don't. I mean, we're working a plan out. We never expected something like this to happen. So, as a mother, and I work in the school, it's harder for me because I'm going in, but at the same time, I'm selecting the option for my kids to stay home.
Right.
So are these other kids you're working with, or are they like older kids, like teenagers?
Well, I'm not in the Bibb County School District. I'm in this charter district for Sirius Academy.
Okay.
And so we are not in the same alignment with Bill. We make our own decisions or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I have underlying health conditions. I have a son that has underlying health conditions, real serious underlying health conditions. And that's the only way as a parent and a person that I work in the front office, so I get it all.
Right.
The parents, the students, yes. And so from my standpoint, yes, I for parents that the kids need that classroom setting, yeah, but you got to look at CDC. CDC saying basically they have to be 6 foot apart. What school in Bibb County do you know that can actually do that?
Hello.
Right.
Bibb County has close to 20 to 25 kids in one classroom. They're going to have to break that down to 14 kids in a classroom to get that real true 6 feet apart.
Right.
Then look at this. As parents, look at this. They're saying something came out saying that they want the kids to bring food from home. Some kids don't even eat at home.
Right?
So you got to look at that. Then also look at how they're trying to do the bus system. How you gonna see this in kids that got to ride the bus?
Right.
This is already jacked up.
Probably spend out more gas, which the system don't want to do.
Right.
Wow.
So I mean, it's a lot to deal with, and I think on my end, it's like a little stress when I see people that out here like, oh, we just over exaggerate. No, we're not, because I actually have a friend that works with me who just recently lost an auntie to COVID.
Oh man.
So you got to take it as it is. As many times you go out, how many people you see with those face masks on? That's a simple fix.
Listen. I saw a video of one person protesting wearing a mask because it, quote, takes away his freedom.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I heard people were saying that too.
I heard a lot of y'all on here. I brought my back up.
Man, the way I see it, you can take your chances. Either wear it now or ventilator later.
Right. So I mean, this is a touchy subject for me because I mean, Pam and Aleia know I have a very sick child.
Yeah.
I'm taking chances every day walking out the door. Every day. And so when you see people that's just making jokes about it, walking down the street, oh, you stupid for doing this, it kind of puts you in a bad spirit. I pray about it and I keep going.
Have that nut spirit.
You pray about it. I'm and cuss about it. You got the right spirit right there.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Just go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish in just a minute, Nick. But just want to take a pause for the calls. And if y'all haven't already, please share this live. I can tell already this is gonna be a real good conversation. Please like, share, subscribe, and let us know your thoughts. Flood us in the comments. Let us know how y'all feeling.
Yeah.
Just had to do that brief commercial there. Go ahead.
You gotta drive.
So Melinda, with you being an educator and with you having a sick son, do you ever feel the pressure from your job to have to come back, you choosing work over your family at this point?
That's a very good question. No, I don't, because I have my superintendent. When I say she is the best, she so the way that she have it set up now, she's looking out for me first because, like I said, I work in the front office. She's already made provisions for me to get the plastic up in front of my desk, in my window. I have a speaker, so parents don't come in unless I let them in. She's already sitting in place where I won't be around a whole bunch of people. And if my son gets sick, they are very lenient to me being at home. So I mean, they have my back.
That's what's up.
That's good.
So, Leah, I want to ask you, what's it been like for you? Because for those of you that don't know Leah's a hairdresser, and she was probably her field was probably one of the first ones to be given permission, I'll say, by our governor to go back to work. So, what's it been like since going back to work doing hair?
It's been rather interesting. Because like Melinda said, everybody feels differently. Like some people don't want to wear a mask, and some some are like overly cautious about it. So it kind of makes you're dealing with all different kind of personalities, and you're just really having to kind of like stay sane your own self. So it's been hard, honestly, to be honest, but I'm making it. I hate wearing the mask. A lot of them, the hairstylists, a lot of us are experiencing dizziness and different stuff from wearing a mask all day. So it's real. Like she said, this is like, I don't know how this new normal is. So just trying to be careful and scheduling breaks and not have a lot of people. All that. It's been kind of hard, honestly.
So, do you have customers?
Chemicals y'all got.
Yeah. Did you have a lot of people come? Did you have a lot of clients that have not came back?
As of now, I don't. Everybody has pretty much. I have everybody. Just about everybody has come back by now. But at the beginning, a lot of people was like, hey, I'm just waiting a few more weeks. But now I may have like maybe one or two people that haven't come, haven't been back. But child, my inbox, everything. People are definitely trying to get their hair done. I'm having to actually turn people away to actually be able to, do the social distancing and, just not be overcrowded. So, people definitely are trying to get their hair done. They are not studying these.
I know that, right?
Oh man. I tell you what, just about every day I see a new post. My new nails finally.
Yeah.
Look,
his hair. Woo, thank you for his hair.
So it's been, it's been crazy because people are different, like I said. And I would tell anybody, if anybody else out there, if you're a hairstylist, be mindful. Money isn't everything. I know we gotta pay bills and but just try to be cautious. That's all I can say. Just not be fearful. I'm not scared, but at the same time, I'm trying to do what I can to protect my clients and myself because I do have a family to come home to.
Right. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Right. You don't need to be giving the Rona to your husband and kids. No,
that's right.
We all
I know people have gotten contracted.
But I'm gonna say this though. I'm gonna say this to just to balance things out. At the church I work for, we have done three COVID-19 testings, and as just as many people as there are afraid to wear masks, just that many people are getting tested. Despite what our president may say that we need to slow down testing and all this other stuff, more people. We're seeing cases going up exponentially. So please be careful out in these streets. Please be careful in these streets.
And then my thing is have your own common sense when it comes to this too, because we know that we have a president that don't care. So have common sense.
And if you stay in Georgia, you got a president and a governor that don't care.
Oh Lord.
So true.
We don't put the wrong two on here with Wesley tonight, y'all.
Oh no, it's gonna go down tonight.
No, it's the right.
Because it's the truth. Because you have these people that's in office that for to be there for us. But come on, you open up everything. Come on, and no numbers have went down. That's just. Right. I mean, you don't care about us. You care about whatever that little money is.
The numbers are going down.
No numbers have went down. Period. That's what you're going in Georgia. Period. We have not seen a decline. We only seen an increase.
Yeah. I mean,
if all y'all beach goers, y'all know it's 3,000.
Oh yeah, I just think quite a few of y'all going to the beach too.
I ain't going to no beach, honey. I ain't going to no.
Listen.
Y'all better get a pool, put some water in it, and throw some sand right in your backyard.
There you go. Hey, better yet, get you a fire hose, get you a little hose, a water hose.
You're telling them, waterfall.
Got it right.
But seriously though, we know why the president and the governors are doing this. Both of them outside of their political office are businessmen. They both own businesses. They're both losing money. Their businesses are losing money. So for them, it's all about the bottom line. But really, when you think about it, I mean, even thinking from a business standpoint. Okay, so let's think from a business standpoint. And I'm going to use this as an example. And the reason I'm going to use this particular incident as an example is because people, especially our people, we shop with our emotions. Okay. Remember back in I want to say it was 2018 when Nike came out with this campaign and Colin Kaepernick was the face of it. And he said, believe in something, even if it costs you anything.
Right.
We went out in droves to buy Nike stuff. In droves. Think about it. If businesses show that they actually care about you during this pandemic, or in the political sense, if a politician shows that they care more about their people than making money during this pandemic, don't you think that more than likely is going to lead to them voting for you? Like, and I'm saying this in support of Trump or Kemp or whatever, but just thinking as a smart politician, knowing that you need your constituents to vote you back in. If you put people over profits, don't you think they're going to pay you back in votes?
True.
Yeah, it would seem like the logical thing, but at the same time, if you're trying to get money, you're trying to balance out whether you want your money or your vote. I mean, I guess it's a tough decision.
The way I see it is this. A lot of businesses and churches, I'm going to get to churches in a minute, but a lot of businesses are trying to avoid taking a hit. It's unavoidable.
You know what? Now that you say
business is going to take a hit. The question is, the deal is, people with their pockets are going to remember what you did for them or how you thought of them during this time.
But at the same time,
you don't believe that?
At the same time, did y'all not see the article today where it says, don't let the Black Lives Matter turn into Black Lives Marketing? Did y'all see that?
I didn't.
It's already turned into Black Lives Marketing. Let me say this. And I've said it on my personal Facebook page. I'm gonna say it here. Don't be fooled by these different businesses that are coming out with a black background and white fonts saying that they care about the Black community. Because if you go to any of their websites and you go to their corporate section and you look up their board of directors, you look at their shareholders, there is no diversity in there. Until there's diversity on that page, I don't care about you about your little social media post that you made saying Black Lives Matter that took 15 minutes to do. I know, I do it every day. It took you no longer than 15 minutes to come up with that statement.
Right. And the reason they're doing that, Wesley, is because, like you said, they don't want to lose Black people that's buying up their product. And I totally agree with you.
And going back to the example with the Colin Kaepernick thing, all Nike knew that all they had to do was put a black face on that campaign, and they knew we were going to go in droves and buy Nike stuff. And we did.
But the thing is, though, Wesley, black people were already buying Nikes and Jordans before
Right.
I mean, that's true. That's true. But even more so, like when Colin Kaepernick came out with that campaign, they went out and just bought Nike stuff, like random Nike stuff, as if they were buying a pair of Jordans.
That is true because we had a Nike Sunday in youth church.
I was gonna say that, Nikki. I was like, I only bought a Nike shirt because we had Nike day at church.
But I feel like, just like you said, we're emotional buyers. But let me make sure I say this correctly so there's no backlash. Some of us are gonna buy just because we had extra money anyway. Mm-hmm. Whether it would have been Nike, Samsung,
Reebok.
You went to Walmart during that time of that stimulus check, you couldn't find no TVs.
Right.
Because they're spending the money on the wrong things, and then like you said, they went and spent it in Walmart and all these different places. But come next week when they water, lights, and get cut off because they didn't take that little $12,000 and pay them bills. Mm-hmm. Now they finna be sitting in the dark trying to get water from the neighbor.
If there was ever a time for our people to be financially literate, it was
yes. You better say it now.
Because when I tell you, I haven't even spent my stimulus shit. I have not. I ain't gonna say that,
but the thing is, you had pretty much a stable job. I really feel like the stimulus checks were meant to go to people who already wasn't financially stable anyway.
Right. I'll agree with that.
Most of them weren't white or black.
Right.
Yeah. That's the conversation folks don't want to have because trust me, it's some white folks out here that need it just as bad, if not more.
Yes.
Because if you look at the statistics, it's actually more white people on welfare than black people. Now some genius will probably get on here and say something like, well, it's more white people in the population anyway. Of course, there are more white people on welfare.
We had that conversation the other night.
But the problem is the story the media would tell is that it's mostly black people that use and abuse welfare. Well, no, you got just as many white people, if not more, that are using and abusing it.
Tell that narrative. I work at DFAX. The majority in Bibb County, you will have.
Can't get you, Nikki.
Did you mute
I don't know why I keep hitting it. Now, this is what people mess it up at DFAX office. In Bibb, I don't know why it's doing that.
It's the devil, girl. He don't want you to get it out.
Don't get it out. Type it in the text if you got to.
I got it. So in Bibb County, you'll have majority more black people because Bibb County is over 50% black people. Now, when you look at United States worldwide, the race that is the predominant is white people. So you're already going to know that there's going to be more white people who have those subsidies than black. Unless you're in a predominantly black area like Bibb County.
Mm-hmm. But like Geneva just said in the comments, it's all strategic. Like Geneva just said in the comments, it's all strategic. It's all strategic to make one race look like it's needy or always hand its hand out, and because when you highlight the fact that there are white people on welfare, that's making white people as a whole look bad. Can't have that. So.
And the thing about, let me make sure I say this correctly. The thing about it is, even the people in Georgia, the other races, right? They're in the same boat as the lower income people, but still people who's taking money out of their household, like Trump.
That is true. That is so true.
It's so true.
More than people who's put you in the same position as black people in Hispanic.
Yes.
My favorite sermon ever preached was by Martin Luther King Jr. It's called The Drum Major Instinct. And within that sermon, he told an anecdote of when he was in jail. I think he was in Birmingham. He was locked up in Birmingham. He told a story about how these guards were talking to him about, you know, how he needs to stop his fight on segregation and civil rights issues and stuff. And, you know, Martin Luther King was just casually talking to him as guards, and he asked him, how much y'all making? And then the guard told him. And then Martin Luther King was like, y'all making that much? Y'all need to be marching with us because you're just as poor as we are. But the issue is, you have been fooled in supporting your oppressor because y'all have the same, because your color is the same, and
the color of the skin is the same, right?
Makes you superior to black people when you're really in the same boat as we are.
You better say that.
That in 1968 and in 2020, nothing has changed.
Nothing.
I wouldn't say nothing. I just got in a whole argument about that just the other night. But I mean, like, I would not say nothing has changed, because at the same time, I know I ain't picking no cotton. Y'all picking cotton? I ain't. You know what I'm saying? I mean, no, we're not where we need to be. But at the same time, you gotta be thankful that, you know, that we aren't where we were. But at the same time, what happened to me, we got comfortable, you know, because now we're not picking cotton no more. And, you know, we go to charter, we can put our children in private school and do whatever. And really, we just stop fighting. So now, I mean, now we want to complain, but at the same time, we need to make moves. And, you know, all of this, we need to actually put some action behind it.
But you know what, though? I hate it had to happen this way. But with, you know, but what happened with Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, which is what broke the camel's back, I hate it took this. But this is the most united our people have been in 60 years.
Yes.
This is the most our people. And look at what's happening around us. I mean, it's small stuff, but look at what's happening. We're starting to see some legislation change. In Georgia, for the first time ever, a hate crime bill was signed into law.
Yes.
Right.
You know, but my thing is this. My prayer is that we don't get to a point to where we become satisfied.
Right.
You know, the fight is not over just because a hate crime bill was signed. And don't get it twisted. And understand this. Though these steps have been taken, it ain't because Brian Kemp is so anti-hate, or because Trump didn't sign into law to where police can no longer use chokeholds on police, because we all know in Trump's heart, he really don't care how the police have to think. This stuff didn't happen out of the goodness of the heart. It happened because we as a people put pressure on the government. We've seen examples of what can happen when we're united. Like Aleia said, the reason we became divided is because we got to a point where we got comfortable because of the fact that we can go to the same schools, and because we can shop in the same places, and we can go to the same restaurants, we can live in the same communities. We got comfortable with that. But what this has done is this has taken the lid off to those that weren't aware or chose to ignore it because they were in a comfortable situation. At the end of the day, yes, you can live wherever you want. Yes, you can take your children to good private schools if your money allows. You can do whatever your money will allow you to. At the end of the day, the way you're perceived has not changed, it's come out, and finally the majority of us. I'm sorry that it took this. But finally it's woken us up as a whole. Few of us have always been woke, but it's woken us up as a whole, and now we got tired of it to the point to where we're coming to take what's ours, and that's why this stuff is changing. But we don't need to be satisfied with this. We need to fight for diversity in the boardroom. We need to fight for diversity in our political office.
Right.
Until those things happen, we don't need to be satisfied.
That's right.
We don't need they don't decide it. Right, because they on the side for us to be quiet.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
Just to pacify us. So
to pacify.
That same fire Like you still gotta have that same fire you got now, that everybody has now. Then we need to keep it. And since it's real talk for the Christian walk, that's Bible. Like in the Bible, the Israelites, they won, but they was too lazy. They didn't want to. Some of them was too lazy. They didn't want to possess the land. So don't get lazy. Now is not the time to get lazy. Now is the time to just, get ready to possess it. We coming for everything that was stolen from us. And
Exactly. Because to be honest with you, Black people is what made America. I'm sorry.
That's right.
We worked hard.
Right.
It was our ancestors' sweat and blood that took over and did everything. And so, I mean, we got to keep fighting. And you can't just be quiet because they sign, we're going to sign this piece of paper just to shut them up, just to get them out the streets. But now we don't just have the street. Just like Trump can tweet, we can too.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to use all. Huh?
Right.
Let me ask all of y'all this. Do you think that we got tired of it, or do you think it's just been more publicized to the fact that they no longer can ignore it?
I think it's both. Honestly, I think that, like it's like you can't ignore it. I think that's true as well. But I pretty much think that I think it's both, honestly. Which
now I'm gonna say this. I think it got to a point where we were tired, and the reason we were tired was because this isn't the first time that there has been video evidence of miscarriage of justice. But we learned it with Trayvon Martin, we learned it with Sean Bell, we learned it with Eric Garner, and recently seen it with George Floyd. There can be video evidence of mistreatment and they still get off. I think at that point, because we just dealt with Ahmaud Arbery, we just dealt with Breonna Taylor, and we've been dealing with George Floyd. Add that to the fact that we've been cooped up in the house for 3 months and we're already frustrated as hell.
Right. We already ready to bust loose.
And doggone it, when George Floyd happened, that
lit the fire.
That was it. Now I'm gonna say. Now let me say this. Let me say this too.
Breonna Taylor, the officers are still out there on the streets. So
they're still out there.
One was fired.
Now,
one was fired.
Okay.
Now let me say this. I'm gonna say this as well. While I don't personally agree with the initial reaction to the death of George Floyd, with the looting and the rioting and the burning of police stations and police cars and all that, while I don't agree with the initial reaction, I don't believe this movement would have taken force without it. The reason I say that is because we've been peacefully protesting. Colin Kaepernick took in with every game, not making any noise, not even saying anything, just took a knee. Just took a simple knee during the national anthem. And that got him called an SOB by the president. And that got him blackballed. Simply taking a knee got him blackballed. So we've been peacefully protesting. It wasn't until they started looting and rioting that they started to pay attention. I'm not saying I agree with it, but I believe it took that to make people pay attention. But what did you see happen after that? Now that got your attention, then what started taking over was the peaceful protests and the peaceful cries to ban chokeholds, to have a hate crime law passed. The peaceful protests far superseded the looting and the rioting. The looting and the rioting lit the fire. And again, I don't personally agree with it, but I don't think we would be in this place without that spark being
without showing that.
Go ahead, Pam.
Y'all remember when we first came back and I said demonstration speaks louder than conversation?
Yes.
I'm trying to tell people it is what it is. This is what it's gonna be. If you don't hear me, you're gonna hear me. You're gonna see me. You're gonna feel me.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, I don't agree with it, you know, but hey, they hear it.
But the reality of it is, law enforcement is outnumbered.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
They can. They don't have as many numbers as there are in Atlanta. You had thousands and thousands of people with probably hundreds of law enforcement.
And that's the scary part. Like, you know.
Yeah, you can't. The reality of it is, they can't stop us.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm about to go dead. Hold on, I gotta plug in.
They can't stop it. The thing is, just like you said, they signed the bill to silencers. They finally arrested the officers for using too much excessive force, but it's only because they know in reality they couldn't stop what was going on. Mm-hmm. They had Phil Mike up there saying stuff. They had the mayor up there saying stuff. If they could have controlled it within themselves, they would have done it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They would have done it.
I mean, people are fired up, man. I was talking to my nephew the other night, and man, when I tell you, he's in his 20s. He's in his mid-20s, and baby, let me tell you, he was so fired up, and I was like, yeah, boo, that's good. Now, what you gonna do with that energy? So I want to tell everybody that, like, it's good that you fired up. So now, what are you going to do, you know, with all of that? What are you going to do outside of we've protested, and now what is our next move to continue, you know, to see improvements? What is the next move? Like, it's not going to end, and we don't need to get comfortable again. You know, we don't need to get comfortable again. So, you know, I was just, you know, I want to pose that question to the people, like, what, or to y'all, like, what do you think should be the next move now that we've protested, now that we've seen a little change? Like, what should we, you know, like, what's next?
Let us know in the comments. What do you think? What do you think should be on
the pressure? We need to keep the pressure going.
Yep.
Don't go to sleep. Don't take a nap. Keep it going. Keep doing what we're doing to make these laws change. Get these people out of office that don't need to be in office. Keep it going. Keep it going.
Now we need to start talking with our dollars.
Right.
Because because this is just history repeating itself.
Did you say dollars?
65 dollars, money.
Money.
Because think about it. In 1965, the Civil Rights Act was passed, which was supposed to shut Martin Luther King up. Next, he started with the Poor People's Campaign. Now, what the Poor People's Campaign was about, really, if you really look at it, Poor People's Campaign was really about reparations. And these good and our light-skinned brothers and sisters knew it. And Martin Luther King was intelligent enough. He was about to drop the whole history about how some of our founding fathers created land, built wealth, bought land, built colleges, and employed and got their sons in colleges, taught them how to farm, fish, all this other stuff, and then put them on once they got their degree. These were the same people that were telling us, our people, to pull ourselves up by their own bootstraps while they were completely living on the barter system. Martin King was getting ready to expose all of this. He was planning another on Washington, and his mission was, we're coming to get our check. That's why he's not alive today. So what needs to happen is, now we've gotten a hate crime. We've gotten a hate crime law passed in Georgia. There's a police ban on chokeholds. Now we need to start coming after the money.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my friends on Instagram. She created a line called 40 acres in a mill. Like, you know, usually 40 acres. Like, we want our money. So I was like, yeah. So at the beginning, I don't know if y'all remember my post, but at the beginning of this whole pandemic, I was saying like how I felt like people, you know, they needed to realize that, you know, there's an inheritance that's for you. And then a lot of people just wanted reparations from the beginning. But now that we move forward, how it is time to ask for the money, because, you know, and then you think about our parents too. Like, I just feel like it's different now with this protesting, because our parents were just out of when slavery, I mean, not slavery, but segregation had just ended. So I feel like they were still hurt and afraid. And this generation now, we already know based off of the crime in Macon, Georgia, they ain't scared of nothing. So, you know, I think that's what it is now. It's what it was then.
Yeah, because I feel like now that I feel like now that the kids are our generation and younger, they're more resilient to. They don't think. Sometimes they just go and act, and that's enough to scare somebody. See, so that's what they got to realize. You're not dealing with those low-minded people or people that's just gonna say, "Yes, sir, I'm gonna do it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir." You don't have them yes people no more. You got it's a whole new generation of kids. This is a whole new. I wish you might tell me to go out there and pick it. This guy who you say clean up the kitchen? Now you go do it. Like this is the type of generation we have right now. So they got to understand that when you come for us, be ready to get whatever we gonna dish back to you. Right. Because that's where we're at right now.
Yes.
The only thing about this generation is they are resilient. They are persevere through anything. But like Wesley said, we do want money, but what's gonna happen when we give it to them who taught them how to use their money wisely? And they're still going back and investing it in other America businesses and not black owned businesses. It's still not happening. This is like when they gave us that $1,200. It wasn't going to black owned businesses.
It went to Walmart and Best Buy.
It went to, as Wesley described, with no diversity in their management. It went to those. So
that's what we got to. That's what we got to step in and educate our young kids.
Oh yes,
because one thing because one thing that you don't see. Think about when we was in school. I'm not scared to say my age. I'm 40, but when I was in school, you had those classes. You had home ec. You had they teach you how to manage a checkbook. How many? If you can tell me how many kids you know right now that know how to write their name in cursive to sign a check.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They don't teach stuff like that no more.
Well,
as
parents. Let me say this, Melinda. Let me say this. I have a brother who's 17 years old than me. So he went to high school in that era that you're talking about. He took and you're absolutely correct. And that in those days we had home ec. We had home ec when I was in high school. I graduated. I'm 34. Graduated in 2003. Right. We had home ec. We had home ec then. But in my brother's era, he graduated high school in '87. They had home ec. They had shop. You know, accounting, all of that different stuff. Yeah. But the issue is the reason why they stopped it is because people stopped attending those classes. And the reason they stopped attending those classes because shortly after that era, I'll say around 91, 92, that's when they started pushing the college agenda. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with pushing college. Issue is college is not for everybody. And at that time, and this was the era when, you know, going to college was a cool thing. You know, a different world was popping. You know, everybody wanted to go to an HBCU. That's great, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. I don't disagree with the motive. But what happened was they put people that were going to college, extending their education up here, and they put you down here if you wanted to learn a trade. When the level should always be the same. It should have been an either or versus a you need to go to college or you're not working anything.
Okay, so I got something for you, Wesley. I'm just being real.
Well, hold on. I just want to say I graduated from Westside High School in 2003. I have a dual seal diploma. It says vocational tech and college prep. So I'm doing at Northeast.
Hold up. Wait, what we not going to do?
What's not going to happen? What's not going to happen?
Is usually going to throw that out now.
I got a dual seal diploma in high school, so you know I could.
If they had it at West Side, they had it at every other high school too. Don't do that.
But I'm just saying, you gotta, explore those options.
Whatever.
But what I was gonna say, crazy girl, is that, when you look at society today, yes, a lot of kids do go to college, and I applaud college. I'm back in college myself.
That's right.
But let me tell you something too, though. But and this may sound crazy now, but some of these kids that did not go to college and got that trade, they're now making more money than the ones that go to college.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I mean, because they don't work, they don't been in the field, they don't rank up the ladder to get where they need to go. If they're in the right company.
And guess what? They're not in debt either.
And they're not in debt.
The trick is, especially with a lot of Black students, is we come from families who can't afford to, like some other racist families, give them allowance. We getting student loans just to help pay rent. We're getting student loans to help.
Girl, yes, ma'am.
Our bachelors, $30,000 and $40,000 deep. And then one of the things is, Black women are one of the most educated people.
Absolutely.
Right? But then we go get our masters, they add on an additional $20,000 to $40,000 worth of debt, just to make an extra $5,000 a year. So by the time you finish paying that off, which you probably won't, because you're still trying to raise children and have a mortgage and everything, you still putting yourself back in a worse position, because the money that you are making, you can't even see it because you're paying student loans.
Yep.
And my thing is,
economic slavery.
They gotta be educated on
That's exactly what it is.
They gotta learn how not to just take the money because the money is there. Like I'm gonna use me as an example, because I go to school, I have student loans, but when they sent that check, they said that this what was left over. Guess what I did? I re-signed that check and sent it right back to them. Because yes, ma'am.
You should have put £1
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Because see, this is being educated on what you got to think about. You're adding interest to that money. You're adding interest. So why take that little $2,000 and some check they sent me and waste it on something when I'm not struggling to pay my bills. My check takes care of that. I mean, my kids got what they need. So what is that extra $2,000 gonna do to help me? No, take that money, send it back to the school. You take that money and put it on whatever interest y'all trying to build up on me. Because when I take away, I promise you, I'm gonna be debt free.
Let me tell you, girl. Let me tell you.
Like the Democrats were trying to get it passed where they forgive the student loans rather than give the stimulus check, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. You've seen it all over Facebook. Why do you think they would rather give us $1,200 than forgive us a student loan debt?
Because you owe too much on student loans.
The student loan debt.
And think about where those and these are. And to Nikki's point, these are federal student loans. So
federal student loans.
So it goes to the government.
Goes to the government.
Government take money out of their pocket. Why would the government?
And they're not going to do that.
You forgive student loans. No.
Well, they can take my little 10 stacks I owe because I'm just trying to, hold on. Like,
yeah, it is. Even if they took away half of student loan from an average person, they got it, right? And again, Black women are the most educated in America, right? Masters, PhDs, everything. So you telling me we got almost $200,000 worth of debt, and you don't even want to take half of it because that still will put us above another race. Right. Come to that ratio gonna go down. Our savings account gonna go up. It's still economic slavery because you can't get ahead.
Because they want us in power.
That's the goal.
Exactly. Like, and money is power. What do people believe?
Money is.
They don't want us to be empowered.
I'm telling y'all, when my daughter, she graduated from high school last year, people was looking at me crazy because I said that I was not going to take out any student loans for her in my name for her to go out, off to school. So she had to go to school here. And people thought I was wrong for not, saying, not her. But why would I do that when she can stay here? And she can go to school and get very similar education. Pretty good. We got some pretty good schools here. And she can save like $15,000, to stay home and to go to school, because everybody's like, you should go off to school. It's just like an off to school experience. But at the same time, if you didn't earn it, what I'm saying, or if you don't have the money, if you just don't have the money for it, you just don't have the money for it. You can't just get everything because you want it and because it's a good experience. Yeah, it's a good experience to go off to school, but I wasn't gonna take out no extra loans. I love her. I want to give her the world. You know what I'm saying? That's my boo. You know what I'm saying? I had her when I was 18. We didn't grew up together, but at the same time, I wasn't gonna do it. And it was like the best decision. And at the same time, I was also teaching her to make better financial decisions about when it comes down to, like getting something that you want. Do you really want it, or do you need it, or do you want it?
Or are you doing it because your other friends are doing it?
Right. Are you doing it because it's a good experience? Yeah. Right. Get scholarships. Since we didn't have any scholarships and we didn't have any, we don't get Pell Grant. We don't qualify for that. So, hey, it is what it is. And it was like one of the best financial decisions that we made, in that respect, So.
But you know what? That kind of goes into all what we were saying tonight about just generational things that we have brought on, because probably back in the 50s and 60s, everything was probably on a barter system. I help you, you help me this way. Then we got to where we could finally get loans. Well, then mom and them started getting loans for us, but then the children weren't paying the loans back.
Right.
So that brought us back money again. So then we were able to get credit cards. Nobody talked about credit cards.
Don't even say nothing about them credit cards.
You ain't even looking at what the percentage is. And then we get in debt with that. So then we're still stuck financially. It, like you said, Pam, economic slavery, because nobody is teaching us that we don't
goes back to education. Yes.
Right. Over nothing.
Man, have you been to any financial seminars to where they basically teach you how to get in debt and how to manage it, really?
Well, I have. Y'all know I love
they label it as financial literacy and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, all they're doing is teaching you how to get in debt and how to manage being in it.
Well, I will say, my mama, thank God for her. When we all started working at 16, she made us all go get our own bank account. She took us or whatever, and they actually taught us about credit and with our first job. And like I tell Aleia all the time, I was on my own at like 22, 23 maybe, when I realized I could overdraft this account, like get $1,000 overdraft. Like, brother, I'm about to go buy this, and this. I pay it back as long as I pay back within 30 days. I was like, that's interest-free loan. I'm gonna do this. But I feel like if you teach your children now the importance of money and to always keep $100 in their checking or in their savings, it will prepare them for the future, because $20 used to be emergency money when we were teenagers. Now $100 is emergency money. You know what I'm saying? Like, now we probably can get a full tank of gas for $20 because of what the world is in, but you just gotta pay attention to it. But I will tell you, I have taken a class since we have been in the pandemic, and one thing that blew my mind, since y'all talking about like student loans and stuff, have y'all ever noticed as a people in our culture, people of color, it's easy for us to go out. Say for example, if we go apply for a student loan, 9 times out of 10. You're going to get 10 times out of 10, you're going to get a student loan because they know what it'll do to you. 9 times out of 10, you can go, even if you can't afford a 2020, 2021, you go to the lot. They're going to find a way to put you in that car whether you paying $1 million a month or not, they're gonna put you in there. But if you try to go and say, hey, I want to start a business, this is my, this is what I plan to do. You're gonna most times you're gonna get shut down for a business loan. Not because you're not worthy of it, but because of the fact that, hey, no, I'd rather see you in debt than see you do something to make money that's gonna be able to help your culture out and be able to advance somebody else to the next level. And I ain't all about the black this and black that, but I mean it's just reality. But that's why we got to be smart with our credit as well as smart with our money, because at the end of the day, in a time like now, money and credit are the same weight in the book.
I say this now. Nick Farley has taught me this from watching him, and even just the conversations he has with his people. Of course, it's going to be harder to get a business loan. One, because I can't invest in something that you're not already producing. So why would I give you $10, $15, $20,000 and you can't even show me where you've made $500 in a month?
Right. And that's another thing I was gonna say, Nikki. I saw Rosa came up here. I don't know if y'all heard her screaming. But but yeah, when I took and one of the courses that I took when it came to money, and I'm not gonna throw no shade. I won't throw out who it is because it's everybody will probably know it when I say it. But in order for you to be able to get a business, I would guess I'm just gonna say in that area, you had to be able to show your assets and your liabilities. You had to be able to show how much money was in your account. Your credit score had to be in the 700s. You had to have some type of track record that shows that you're worthy of what you're trying to do. And I totally 1000% agree with that. Because I do feel like, a lot of people pop up out here and try to hop in businesses and do this and do that. And that's why I said in the beginning, when they started with all these loans for businesses with the pandemic, I was like, y'all be careful with that because, it's going to be a catch to it.
They were denying them anyway. Most of the people who tried to get them couldn't get them anyway.
Right, because they didn't have their paperwork in order. They didn't have, you have no track record. You have no, because so many of them are doing things the wrong way and trying to hide money instead of, being legit with it.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna lie, I get scared every year at tax. I'm like, oh, please, just let me get something.
No, see, I just don't want to pay nothing back, honey.
Right.
That's all I want. Don't let me
Right.
But you know what the thing is? I feel like this. Everybody is made to be an entrepreneur,
right?
Because being an entrepreneur, you have to be a leader. You got to have.
Everybody is not a leader.
I'm sure Miss Aleia knows like this because she just came out of the cohort with her urban leadership class.
Yes. Shout out to urban leadership.
Y'all know anyway. But you got to be a leader. 2, you got to be able to make sound decisions about it.
Right.
3, if you don't even have the influence to sell your product, then what is the point of you actually trying to be an entrepreneur?
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
No sense.
The seeds have to be planted before you even try to water it. Like there has to be like and when think about the area of your life where you're most called upon to solve problems. If it's an area where you're repeatedly called upon to solve problems, look in that area. Don't just go into a certain field just because this is where everyone's going or this seems to be what's trendy. No, look at where you're called to solve problems.
Exactly. Now, Wesley, I totally agree because I love my job as a probation and parole officer. I absolutely love it. No, first of all, I love it because I get to be a part of the community in a way where I can help the mass more so than just having to help one person.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to help people. I like to help people look at different type of things. I know that. So that's where my passion led me to, was to help people in that way. I am not Nick Farley. I know that I do not want to run a business. I will assist in any way possible. I'll share his products. I'll send people to him. But I know that's not something that I'm good at smiling and talking people into stuff. That's my lane. But a lot of people don't know their lane.
Right.
You are
So true, Nikki.
You are the excellent right hand. You are the example of the right hand.
Yes, she is. She is.
And see, right, and I feel the same way you do. I mean, it took me a while to figure out where I wanted to be in life, but I do feel like I'm a leader in what I do, but I just feel like my position is where I'm at, working with kids, because that's my passion and I do great with it. So I'm like you, yeah, that's my lane. I mean, I'm not out here to be a business owner. God put me to work with children. That's where I'm happy at, and I make a difference.
Right.
Exactly.
And let me say this too. It's okay. And I'm sure and Aleia, Pam, you know, with you guys having teenage daughters, and for you as well, for Nikki and Melinda. It's okay. Let's not beat up our children if they immediately don't know what they want to do with their life. I'm 34 years old. I didn't discover my life purpose until I was 31. So, you know, I spent my entire 20s trying to figure out what I was supposed to do. I knew what I was gifted at. I knew where, you know, I knew what I was good at, but it wasn't until I was around 31. It may have even been 32 until just everything clicked for me. And I really realized, okay, this is the lane I'm supposed to be in. It's okay. Because truth be told, that time when you're trying to figure it out, and of course you don't realize it until that aha moment catch. But all of that is developing you for your ultimate purpose. Like everything I did in music, in arts, and everything prepared me for what I am right now, because the little chunks of all the things I did beforehand are being put in place to what I'm doing right now. So if anybody is watching or will watch later that's in their early 20s and you don't know exactly what you want to do, it's okay. Just act out what you enjoy doing right now. It may come later. And God bless those. God bless those that figured out what they're supposed to do when they were 19, 20, 21. God bless you. God bless you. But that may not be your testimony, and it's okay if it's not.
Right. Sometimes you just got to work to get to where you need to be. Yeah. And when you get there, it serves a better purpose. Because I'm like you, Wesley. I'm 40. I started working in school system 6 years ago. 6 years ago. But if you just to see the difference I made in those kids' lives in these 6 years, that lets me know that God had a purpose for me. I had to work hard to get there, but now that I'm there, I'm getting my rewards.
Right. And I will totally agree with y'all on that, because me and Aleia actually just talked about this yesterday or today. But like, it took me. I know y'all know I to talk about money, entrepreneurship, all this, not that. But I used to be a very strategic planner. And Wesley, me and you talked about this earlier, how this year I just went and I'm winging it. 2020, I didn't write a prayer plan. I didn't write any goals down. I didn't do anything. And this, I mean, even though we're going through the pandemic, all this stuff, this has been a great year for me. I haven't took any losses. God, please don't send none, after this. But I haven't taken any losses. Things have, flourished for me. Things have gotten great. But I feel like I told Aleia, I set a before 30 goal. And always on my list was I started working in retail at 16. And I was like, one day I'm going to have my own store. Y'all done put me in management. Y'all let me do all this. I'm going to have my own store. I set out to do it. I did it. I went in with money. I came out debt free. And like I told her, that was the first time ever that I actually felt like my life was crumbling and I couldn't control it, because I was to a point where I got this good job where I can have an actual career. But then I also have this business over here too. But then I had another baby. And of course, anybody that's a true entrepreneur knows if you don't have a regular job, like we talked about at the beginning with insurance, it is very expensive to insure you and your family.
Yes.
You are a sole entrepreneur.
Right.
And so I had to make that decision. And I was like, oh my God. Like, God, why are you doing this to me? You finally let me walk in what I thought was my purpose. But now I see in 2016 was a year, like, I don't talk about it much, but a year, 2016 for me was the year I closed my business. It was the year I had my last child. I witnessed my daddy have a stroke in front of me. Like, I mean, so I took so many losses back to back to back to back. And I was like, God, what you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? But he had to put me in a position in which I didn't know what to do other than to depend on him in order to push me to where I am now.
Right.
Yeah, I took it off, and I was like, like, God, I don't know why you did this to me. Oh Lord, y'all gonna have me in tears on camera, like, y'all know I'm a Jesus.
Because I'm gonna be right behind you.
Like the next year, like, I mean, even though I'm thinking I'm taking losses in my personal life, on this job that I got, I'm still elevating. I'm still moving the next level, still getting raises. I mean, I had everything that I thought I needed. Like, I'm living this, what I thought was the dream. But then he had to set me back to be able to get to where I am now, to know that in actuality, Wesley, you said 34. It took me, well, you said 30. It took me to 35 to see that my purpose is to actually help people to understand, well, even women, how to get into entrepreneurship, how to make money, how to manage your money, how to be able to live an abundant life without actually having to struggle and without having to deal with, like, all of the outside stuff. And my cousin can tell you, Aleia can tell you, and y'all call me, and y'all, I'm gonna tell you, like, I don't care if 15,000 other people are doing what God just let you do at this moment. Do it. And I mean, that's what I feel like. That's what I'm called to do at the time in life. But if I wouldn't have went through what I went through, having to open a store and close the store, then I wouldn't be able to tell people, well, hey, this is how you can do this, or this is how you can do it better, or this is how you can do it different. So it's like you have to do something to get to where you're supposed to be.
Right. That's right.
It's amazing. It's amazing. All I can think about, Pam, when you said all those different things you have to go through, all I could think about was, you're an ocular demonstration of cake, because if you take out all the different ingredients of cake, most of them are very, very bitter. How many people are gonna eat raw eggs by themselves? How many people eat flour by themselves? How many people are gonna eat sugar by themselves? But you put all of those ingredients together, and you got to appreciate those bitter moments.
Yeah.
You better preach now.
All right. Well, you better preach then, Wes.
You better preach.
We ain't got no collection plate for you tonight now. You go ahead and preach that.
I don't get that free service in it.
Well, I want to ask you this as a Black man, right?
Okay.
You just came into yourself within the last 3 to 4 years, right?
Right.
How old are you now? You're 34?
I'm 34. I'm 34.
You're 34. Okay. Do you feel like in a lot of our world right now is centered around Black men? Do you think that Black men is supported enough by Black women? Do you think Black men have a lower standard when it comes to just providing, just for being just what we call a man, taking care of their kids, their women? Do you think the standard for Black men getting married is set too high?
Wow. Okay, let me
what you got?
I want to address every last one of those.
Wow.
I want to address every last one of them. Number one, there has been a systemic purpose on taking the Black man out of the home, and it's been in effect since the 1970s. When you think about the whole reason the housing projects were created, it was created basically like a woman could get assistance, but the only way she could get assistance is if the man wasn't in the house. If you ever watch one of my favorite shows is Good Times. One of my favorite shows is Good Times. And the overall goal of Good Times Even though, you know, even though it was a black family living in the projects, the entire objective of the entire show, the entire series, was to get out of the ghetto. Fast forward 40, 50 years later. Now the thing is, people want to stay in and live off the government. Living off the government in that time was shunned upon, and they were trying to find ways where they wouldn't have to. Now that's changed. So to answer your first question, yes, even though I do believe there is a systemic plan in place to take the black man out of the home, and it's working beautifully, I don't believe we as black men are fighting hard enough to subject that.
All right.
Once we as black men, because look at it, you said it earlier, Nikki. Black women are being educated at a faster rate more now than ever. And also when you factor in affirmative action, really a company can kill two birds with one stone by hiring a black woman. That's why you see a whole lot of more. That's why you see more black women in power now, because basically this is a black women's world. Right now, this is a black women's world for the getting. And I'm not mad at any black woman that's going out and getting hers. If it's there for you, baby, go get it. But once the black man steps up and says, okay, enough is enough, we're gonna stand up, we're gonna be entrepreneurs, we're gonna own businesses, we're gonna get educated, we're gonna go back and we're gonna get these trades that Melinda was talking about earlier, and create generational wealth for our family, getting it by any means necessary. Once that happens, then we'll start to see some change. Now in that, are we going to see? Is there going to be resistance from the system? Absolutely. But guess what? Like Nikki said earlier, it's more on our side than it is on their side. So as soon as we stand up, Martin Luther King once said, "You nobody can ride your back as long as you're standing up." But as long as we stop giving in, to these societal, what's the right word I want to say? These societal beliefs that the black man is lazy and the black man just wants to live the government, and that nobody's going to give us any opportunities. And all that is true. No one is going to give us opportunities. But the beautiful thing about us as black people is we are so resourceful. All we need to do is tap into our source, tap into our resources, and we can do it. But we just have to get motivated enough to wanting to provide for ourselves and provide for our families. It needs to become cool again. For us to stop messing around with every woman that looks so.
They need to stop being man.
It needs to stop being cool. I'm losing some player points here, but I'm saying.
Now you good, boy. You
saying it. You saying it.
We need to stop trying to chase everyone that's willing to offer us a piece,
right?
And commit to one woman, because the Bible even says we don't gain favor without having a wife. The Bible says that. The Bible says we don't have favor without a wife. So we need to, and we need.
No, let's say that. A man that finds a wife finds a good thing, right? But every woman ain't wife material, so.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But at the end of the day, I get your point, Nikki. But at the end of the day, we need to value, and this here's another point. We need to value our women as true helpmeets. And Nick was a great example of what I'm talking about. Every chance he gets, he honors Nikki. I don't care how. Nikki,
I love it.
I don't care how many business he goes. He is going to honor his wife every chance he gets. Think about if you had more black men when they found their good thing.
Amen. I got one.
They honored the one wife that got the one wife that put in their lives. If we were to honor the women and stop looking at them as just sex objects, I I think that's going to be another thing that turns around our community. But our problem is we're trying to collect as much as we're trying to collect that we don't care about. We don't care about having a family anymore. So we get to the point to where being a one woman man gets cool again.
Mm-hmm. And I think the level of respect women don't. Let me not say that. Some women are not requiring that as much as it was 20, 30 years ago. You know what I mean? Or even if they did cheat, even if they did step out, you want them to find out about it.
Yeah.
You know, we look at our grandmas and great grandmas. Grandma had 2 and 3 baby daddies.
That's true, Nikki. Hello. That's true.
That he wasn't finna leave.
Wow.
That's true.
That's true. That's true. I'm not saying that's right, but at the end of the day,
I'm not saying it's right, but the level of respect was different for their wives.
Oh yeah, but because no matter, it's not right that they were being a Rolling Stone, putting their hat here and there, but nothing came above taking care of home. These they want to step out and forsake home.
Man, them jokers waiting on the food stamp card. I told y'all when I got married to the public, when he was like, "Yeah, man, our stamps finally came. Somebody get these crowns." I was so mad. Like, can you buy my shrimp?
No, but that's a great point that you made, though, Wesley.
Right. Like that was a great point.
Back then, yeah, they might have stepped off on their wife, but you best to believe they coming to take care of that house before they take care of any house. And nowadays, they just right here popping these babies everywhere and not even taking care of home first because you don't know how to take care of home first. So you're absolutely right. I just thank God I don't have one of them.
Let me say this, and by saying this, I know this doesn't apply to anybody that's watching this now, or certainly no one.
Come on, preacher.
However, one thing about us as men, we are only gonna do what we are allowed to do. So at the end of the day, I promise you, women, if you demand more, one way or another, we're gonna step up to the plate.
That's right.
I believe that too. And I got to agree with that. I have two brothers.
Well, since you want to put that out there, when y'all gonna step up to the plate, and when these women start coming up with these businesses and making their money, when y'all gonna get behind them before we hit $1 million?
Oh my goodness.
We gotta get behind us. Like, girl, you better go to work. We gotta no. When you gonna get behind? Y'all supposed to be lead now. We don't feel in line. You know, y'all gotta. You know, well, I ain't feeling. I'm to the side. You know, I ain't feeling.
Oh Lord Jesus.
You know,
Jesus.
Please don't.
Y'all gotta get behind these women. How we been getting behind y'all men all these years?
Absolutely.
Because we already, you know, the future is female. I mean, it's a given. Like. So y'all got to get behind us too, you know.
And Wesley, you can't even say nothing because you outnumbered.
I just want to make sure.
Like, we sitting up here like, I wish you would. Yeah.
What you say, Nikki?
I'm asking Wesley, is he saying that a woman has to motivate him to do more?
I mean, I believe everyone should be self-motivated, but listen, and I've experienced this time in my life, and I'm sure Nick is experiencing this being married to you. But even though a man should be self-motivated, the motivation a man gets from a woman that has his back 100% and knows it, a woman can drive a man to do things that he himself didn't even realize he can do. So I think the motivation a woman can provide is infallible.
It's that extra push for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You already have that intimate. You already have everything else, and now you just need that. It's like a little push. Like, oh, baby, I believe in you. I know you can do this. Just I got your back. Whatever you need, I'm your support. but go get out there, take that leap. That's what you need. Encouragement to go out there and actually do it, and not being afraid of failing, because you know she got your back.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's really when you know you found that one, because like Nikki said earlier, not everybody is being connected to you simply because they have your back and they have your support. Some women get connected to men who are already successful because they want their piece of the pie.
I don't
They already
blame
got it.
They
want to build that tail.
33, you just shopping around for any old thing. I mean, they got some benefits, Wesley, a 401k.
Yeah.
And at 35, we think about we got retirement in the next 20, 25 years. I can't raise a man.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean,
Pam, what you got to say? I see that smile. What you got to say, Pam?
I'm good. I got my own 401k, my own save, couple of saves, checking on.
That's what I'm about to say, and I'm about to tie it into what we was talking about earlier when we was talking about like what can we do. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna stand behind my husband, whatever he want to do, And I mean, he has pushed me. Like sometimes he didn't want to, but because we're different. Like Nick, he's kind of like Nikki. He don't have like an entrepreneurial mindset, and so, but he still support me. But at the same time, like it goes back to like educating. It starts at home.
Right.
It starts at home. Like you gotta be taught. We gotta get back to instilling certain morals, certain things at home. Like I was taught to carry myself with dignity. I was taught to have pride. I was taught that like I got some sense because the odds was already against us. Like I was taught all of that at home. So that's why I get frustrated when I see people acting, okay, we already know like we got stuff against us, like even as a black man, like, if you know that the odds are against you, then you already know you got to work 10 times harder. It ain't fair. But now it is what it is until we can do what we need to do to make change. It is what it is. And we got to get back to instilling them values and morals at the high school. Who's that singer? What's her name? Was it K. Michelle? You can't raise a man?
Yes,
you can't raise a man, baby.
And I think that's really the issue. We focus so hard on how unfair the system is. We already know the system's unfair, but all of us have power within ourselves to combat and beat the system. And that's not to say that sometimes you're gonna fail in trying so.
You're right, and that's okay.
Trying so.
It's a part of life.
Don't get knocked down one time and say the hell with it. Get back up and keep trying.
Right, because I hear that all the time.
But we get up.
And we get up because we hear that all the time. I don't vote because it ain't gonna change nothing anyway. My vote don't matter. This, that, and the other. But I don't have that mentality. Like, I'm just like relentless. That's what you got to do. Sometimes you fall, sometimes you get discouraged, but then you gotta like get it back together and say, oh no, like, hey, I gotta fight. Like anything that's worth having, all the things that we want, social, we fighting for, against social injustice. We fighting, we want to have better relationships. Like anything worth having, like you gotta fight for it. Like you have to put in the work to work on yourself first and foremost. And then when you work on yourself, then you figure out how you can make change, and like I said, bringing it back to what we was talking about earlier and what we was talking now, you got to figure out how you can make change, in your household. Like a man, you're supposed to be the head of the household.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay, let me ask y'all. As women, let me ask y'all this.
Oh Lord.
Oh yeah, I got.
We got to have a whole part 2 relationship podcast.
and here's how we're gonna kick it off. Ladies, because I think all of y'all are either in relationships or married. So.
Oh, they're married. I'm in a relationship.
I said in a relationship or married.
Okay, I ain't gonna say this.
Child, listen, just so ready to talk, child. All right. So now I don't know your home situations, but let me just ask y'all this: would it or does it bother you that as a woman who's getting out, doing her thing, whatever, would it bother you, or would you look at your husband or your life partner, relationship, boyfriend, what have you, look at him any less if you were to out earn him financially?
No.
No.
Let me tell you,
okay,
especially
so
not now, because he's been holding it out for me.
Why does that not matter to you all? As women, why does that not matter to you all? As far as
all right, Nikki, you want
to go first?
Okay, so this is the catch to it. It's not about less than me. It's about if you are expecting me to still be wife, mother, employee, and you still keep your feet and do less than me, but still want the benefits of being the head of the household.
Okay, you better say it.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the issue comes in. It ain't money. If we matching everything else, there ain't no problem. If you clean the house just like I clean the house, it ain't gonna be no issue. If you cook for the kids just like I cook for the kids, we ain't gonna have no problems. Now, when you feel like you gonna walk in and you only work 8 hours, as I don't work 12 hours, right? And I got an extra couple of $400 on my check, and you think that you're gonna determine how to do that when you don't do nowhere near as much as I do, you're gonna have a problem.
Right. And not only that, but it's a give and take in relationships. It's a big give and take because sometimes he may fall down. He have to stay home and do some house chores, like Nikki said. He might have to do that, and I'm bringing home the money. But at the end of the day, something might happen to me, and he have to pick it back up. So it's really a give and take and everything. But don't think you just gonna sit right here and not do nothing. And I'm feeding the kid, helping with homework, taking them to all the practices, and then doing my stuff. No, that's not how it's gonna work.
That's why I thank God I have a dad who taught me how to provide and a mom who taught me how to be domesticated.
That's right. And it's always good to, and I'm grateful and I'm happy to say it, but I have a husband that can cook, he cleans, he can do it all. Because every time, and Pam can tell you, I have had 2 major surgeries in the last 2 years that have been very scary. Not knowing whether I'm gonna come back home to my family or not. When I tell you that man got in that truck and went to work, when he got home from work, he made sure that I didn't have to lift a finger. Do you hear me? And I was home for 6 weeks on both of them. Serious surgeries and everything. So when you have somebody like that to have your back and you have their back, then it washes. The money doesn't matter because as long as the bill is paid, as long as I got light, water, and food in the refrigerator, everything else can balance out.
Mm-hmm.
You better say that. Let me just say this. My dude, he done talked out, so I can say this. I'll probably get choked out later. But but me and him took L's at the same time. Both of us lost our full-time job at the same time. We was living together, and but we always had a part-time job too. That's just me, like. But yeah, let me tell y'all. Now, Melinda will tell you, I don't mop, I don't wash no dishes.
No, right.
Now, I would clean the bathroom. But no. So when I tell you, I don't care how much money you make, as long as we eat. That's how that matters. As long as we eat, and I ain't got a mop, and I don't have to wash no dishes, we good. Whatever. We'll make it happen.
Well, I mean, really, whatever kind of agreement, if that's the kind of, if your man agree with that, then hey, who are we to say, that's not the right way?
That's what y'all see on people like, oh, you can't be 50-50. I don't have no problem with 50-50 as long as, we got money in the house. Because really, it ain't 50-50. If you think about it, it's more like the light bill paid, somebody paid the light bill, somebody paid the water bill, somebody paid them, so it's not really a whole 50-50 thing. We ain't sitting down like, all right, it's $100. You got your 50. No, it's whoever. Just make sure it's paid. Like, it doesn't matter to me.
Right. It's just whatever y'all agree. It's whatever y'all agree with. Some people, everybody do stuff different ways, but it's really just whatever you guys agree with.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I'm very prudent. I'm gonna keep a account to the side anyway. So
I can't with her. She is so extra.
So extra. Yeah.
I ain't got time for family. Okay.
Wrap it up because I need a snack. And I was supposed to get back on Family Hustle at 10 o'clock because I missed it at 8 trying to get ready for y'all. So.
Good night, man.
Well, you missed it.
Good night. Good night. I hope you DVR'd it.
Huh?
I hope you DVR'd it.
No. It'll come back on.
It sure will because they'll pay it 100 times.
Yeah. Before you get engaged tonight, so.
Right. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed, and I hope y'all are out here channeling your anger and your emotions in a positive way that's going to make change. If you don't know how to make change, call me, call somebody, get educated on what you can do to better your community, because we are not getting lazy. We are not. We coming for everything, right?
Everything. Right.
And while you're protesting and all this other good stuff, I'm all for it. Yes, but wear a mask while you protest.
You better say, please wear a mask.
Please wear a mask.
And go
self-love. Take care of yourself.
Because
don't vote again.
That's why they open all this stuff up. They see us in the streets protesting. They figure, well, hey, I guess it's time to open everything back up. What? That's protesting. Right. Protest and wear masks.
Yeah.
Right?
And go vote. That's the most important.
And go vote.
Go vote.
Yep. And when you're in the phone line, have your mask on.
Right? Yes. Yes.
Is it August the 11th?
August 11th. Yes.
It's August. Go check out all the candidates. Well, all we got left is a mayor, right?
Well, okay, we got and I think there's one there's a runoff district. I think it's District 2, I believe it is.
Yeah, Pam, what's your district? It's your district. No, it's I'm in District 2.
Like that, Aleia. I don't know.
Okay, I'm sorry. Hey, it's not District 2. I'm in District 2. We're good over here.
Okay. Whatever district, I don't know who Carlton Kitchen's opponent is.
Right, Carlton Kitchen
is over here in the Mercer area. Whatever the Mercer area is, that's his district.
There's a
runoff with him.
Yeah, it's a runout with him.
I thought the still got it.
I'm friends with him on Facebook, and he did announce that they are going to do a runoff with him and his candidate.
They're doing a runoff. Yeah.
And what about district attorney? Did she win or
she won it? She won. Shout out to her, yes, Anita Howard Reynolds.
I'm so excited about that.
Like girl magic.
Yes.
And I know you're in this,
and
but
she was watching earlier. I don't think she's still on, but she was.
I told Wesley he got to be on the real talk.
Got to.
Yeah.
She is amazing.
So many questions. I'm like,
right. But the one thing I can say about her is I met her. We did a feed the homeless at my school. That's one thing that we do. We believe in the community. So we did a Soup for Soul for the homeless. So the school bus, because we only got one, we went and picked up the homeless and brought them to the school. Somebody taught her about the event. She came. She helped us feed the homeless and everything. And then not only that, she met some of my cheerleaders and she was just talking to them. And this how I know she is really for us, because she didn't have no paper, no pen, no nothing. You hear what I'm saying? And she asked what their next event was, which it was the Christmas program. And they told her she was there and she had no reminder. So that they know that she is for us. She's for the community. When she says she's going to be there, she's going to be there. And I want her to be there for me. So, that speaks volume above everything.
Yeah, she's going to make, I think she's going to shake things up a little bit in bed.
She is. And I just want her to watch her back because, this is the first Black woman ever.
Oh, yeah.
So, we got to fight for her just like she's going to be fighting for us.
Yes.
I mean, because she's Anita Reynolds Howard, we're praying for you because
we are.
You are going to be under a microscope. I don't know if you still watching. You are going to be under a microscope. Anytime that we're the first at anything, we're going to be under a microscope.
Right.
But I don't think you would have been put in that position unless you can handle it. You were built for it. And if you're still watching, I don't know if you're still watching, we'd love to have you on. And you can talk about some of your future plans as our next district attorney. So, great. We look forward to that.
All right. Go vote, people.
Go vote.
That's right.
Go vote and wear masks.
And wear a mask.
Yes, thank y'all for coming on with us tonight.
And thank y'all for inviting us. I enjoyed it. I look forward to it. I tune in every time. Y'all
I appreciate you.
And just so y'all know, this is our gift. Like that's all we got.
And
when we blow up, we ain't gonna forget about y'all now. All right.
All right.
Good night.
Good night.